Morning, gentlemen. Quick walkthrough of today's game day document. Probably the important thing from this first screen is remembering that we're playing at Breck tonight, so make sure that traffic's been a little bit of chaotic with all the construction, so make sure we're leaving early. Game day roster, we should all see this, know it. I think we all know who's involved. Itinerary, as Matt sent out, we're going to arrive between 5:15 and 5:30. Get dressed, get your tops, be able to spend some time together. We will be on the field at 6 with our warm-up beginning at 6:05. So similar pattern, and I think the major change here is at Breck we really won't have a clear locker room space, but we're going to keep this pattern going because it will serve us through the rest of the season. Last thing to note is as the game ends, we need to make sure we stay, everyone help clean up and get the field back to where we found it. So obviously the more people we have stay and help, the quicker it goes and everyone gets to go on their happy way after we get 3 points. Objectives, a lot of similar themes. We want to control the game through the ball, be positioned well, really be aggressive, attack their back line. Defensive objectives, now that we've seen them, and I don't know why they would really change how they attacked us last time, is following those vertical movements off their 4-2-4. So as their front four drop down to pick up the ball, making sure that we have that tight team shape and denying that central penetration. It'll be important that our ball far players are able to help us with that, creating those layers of coverage. And then just be aware of number 10. He's their danger player. Transition, obviously with the front three we have between Eli, Herbert, and Bernard, and even the players that we're able to bring off the bench, we're quick, we're dangerous into space, so let's not ignore that if we win the ball in good places high up the field. And then our transition to defending, obviously good positional balance, attacking mids being good, structured properly, not chasing the ball, will allow us to defend in good ways. Starters, Martin in goal, Tyler and Jonah, 2 center backs, Wes and Sydney as our outside backs, midfield 3 of Luca, Aiden, and then front 3, Herbert, Eli, and Bernard. Okay, so looking at our attacking shape. So we talked about this a little bit on Wednesday. If they continue to defend in a 4-4-2. So this is our shape and how we're going to prepare to play if they come out again in a 4-4-2. We're going to have Aiden drop in to form that line of 3. One of our attacking mids will drop into the next line. So as you can see, Aiden's dropped. Our 8's dropped in between their front 2 and their midfield line. And then that keeps our front 3 plus our 10 behind their midfield line. Outside backs are able to get aggressive and wide. Our center backs are able to stretch out a little bit. It's important that our center backs get a little bit wider to gain good angles of penetration. And then as highlighted here, Bernard and Sydney can continue to interchange. We want Bernard to get pulled out wide so he's able to face up. And it's really the same thing, to be honest, on the other side with Herbert. But outside backs, or more like wing backs in the shape, can float inside and release the winger to come pick up the ball as well. From a goal kick shape, we worked on this. Center back's going to play into Martin's feet so that we can start with the ball central and try to solve that first line in a 3v2. It's important that we try to keep this build as central as long as possible so that we can really squeeze their shape and tighten up to release the width. If they are going to get stretched, we'll play right down the middle to Aiden at the 6 and be able to drive and play through the middle space. Again, the longer we stay in the middle space, the more options we have to solve their pressure. As soon as we get played wide, their 2 banks of 4 can shift and lock us in, similar to what we do defensively. Defensive shape, again, continue to drive home this idea of that 4-1-4-1. Looking at where we deny, where do we trap, making sure that we keep the distance between lines tight so that we can back tackle and close up space. It's important that we stay consistent. Last game we probably kept it pretty sharp early days, and then as the game got stretched and we got tired, space got bigger, and that's normal, but can we keep this block longer, 60, 70 minutes? So some examples, their number 8 kind of sits as more of a holding player, so he's dropped in, pick up the ball. We've squeezed and tightened shape up. We've got our striker that's back tackling, not letting him play free, and then you see that shape. So as our 8 has stepped to press, we've dropped in and squeezed, again denying the central ball first, allowing the ball go wide. Again, that has to be the priority. So we cannot be lazy in our recovery movements. We've got to have good coverage underneath the pressing moment. Another example of ball wide, we highlight the 2 boxes. So it's important that the ball far central midfield player is able to help cover that weak side space. And then because he's going to sit a little bit deeper to help the 6 cover that space, our 9 has to be close enough to back tackle on their holding midfield player. It's important that we're able to back tackle and not allow him just to play freely. He's good, he's quick, he can solve problems, but we got to force him to play with some pressure. And that again will let us to reset, reorganize if he does get on the ball and defend again from that central space. Set pieces, gone over those. It's important that we're all on the same page. A couple changes. Sydney will be on the front post. Our free players will be Wes and Tyler, and then our high player that we're going to leave for counters is going to be Herbert today. So Bernard will come back and defend. All right. Free kicks, Aiden and Luca will be on the ball for service. Then obviously Martin will lead the charge as far as setting our wall and being sharp on the restarts. In the image of this, as you can see, Wes will be in the front part of that 6 to cover. Tyler's got the backside, and then we have Herbert high, and then Sydney will be covering the front post. So again, Herbert's able to pull wide and able to use some of his physical tools to be played on the counter. Attacking, we have Luca serving the ball. I think we can also rotate with Aiden, and then we'll leave Jonah and Sid high to stop the counters. And then the rest of it, we're still targeting Tyler and Wes on these set pieces. All right, guys, so obviously you'll have some time to read over this. It's really important that the mentality is right. We're back home. We need 3 points. It's a team that we have a pretty good feel for, and now we have a lineup that looks different than when the last time we played them, and I think it's going to really play into our hands. It's a tighter space. We're able to really squeeze the game against them and really catch them on the counter. But at the same time, our new 3-3-1-3 shape and the build is going to be tougher for them to solve with their 4-4-2. All right, guys, we'll see everyone tonight.